should you get your first early potatoes in right now? Well, you'll remember I do potatoes every year, and this is from last year's extra potatoes we kept over for this year. So seed potatoes, they already got a nice long shoot on them, so actually they don't need chitting right now. I'm thinking of putting them straight in to their final destination. However, I'm going to give them a couple of days in a pot with a bit of dry compost just to get them sorted out and on their way, because as you know, in the UK the weather's not always great, so you can either just put them into a bit of dry compost, let them shoot up a bit further, or you can go directly into the final destination. I've got a few pots outside, 6 of them, large containers that I'm going to put the potatoes in, so I'll show you those in a second. But we've got quite a few of these that have shooting, so I'll keep some indoors and I'll plant the rest up, and then we can keep an eye on these. These are the first early potatoes, so you have got time now in March to get them in if they're shooting. If they're not chitted, get them in a cardboard container and get them chitted up. So you'll see I've got a few left over, so I'll put them straight into the actual end containers. So I always put them in containers because it is easier to harvest them once they're done. And I had a bit of a surprise because in one of these I left some potatoes from last season, and I got a handful of potatoes free. So here's a quick look at this first round pot. You're looking at about 45-50 litres, I presume these pots are. So I've put the potatoes, made a little hole, just put them straight in, and we'll put the compost on top, and I'll put a bit of wood chip over the top as well, just to keep them from losing moisture. So obviously with these, we won't need to water these yet until they start showing the green shoots, but for now, because they're in the end destination, we can forget about these and just let them do their thing. With potatoes, it's nice and easy, just plant them and forget them is the main concept here. So the first pot is being filled up with 4 seed potatoes. I'll put 2 in this slightly square one. Again, this is a similar one to the round one, it's just a square green one, and these do work nicely every season. You know, I get about 5 or 6 kilograms of potatoes out of these, so it actually does do very well, and it kind of keeps us going. Just as an organic option, it's not going to replace your normal potato purchasing, but I think I've had 12 of these. That might be better, but there's not enough space in the small city garden, so maybe next time I might get another set of 6 or 12, and we'll see how they go. Last year we did put some in bags, the Lidl and Aldi large reusable bags. Those didn't work out that great, so this year we're not doing that again. I think it's just easier to put them in containers. They last a bit longer, the water retention is a bit better, and they don't get bad. Because if it rains, and last summer we didn't really have a good summer either, so we actually didn't do that well. So just write up potatoes, put them in, and we did last year put broad beans in with the potatoes and peas. That wasn't a bad idea, so I already have broad beans and peas being not chitted, but in a Tupperware container just to get them started, because mice take them otherwise. And I might put those in here as a secondary option with the potatoes, so you're double using the space. Here's that one container I was talking about. So I didn't actually, I discovered a red potato, and I was like, oh, okay. Last year we put a couple of things in here and had an extra potato, and I just put it in. It was a single seed plant, and now that I'm digging up here to put a few potatoes in this season, I discovered one red one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not a bad idea. Let me just have a look if there's any more. And we discovered about 4 or 5 of them. So that was quite handy. I emptied it all out just to see if I didn't miss any. And that way I got a few here. You'll see that we got like about 4 or 5. So not too bad, small size, but it was from one seed potato, and that worked out quite well as an extra little bonus for you. So here now we're going to put the compost back, and I've got some wood bark chips. So potatoes hilling up is like a long thing. All I normally do is just give them a quick layer of wood chip. That way it keeps them holding the retention of moisture, and it helps the potatoes grow. And as I said, we'll water these a bit later. We don't need to water them right now, because once they get started and they got green shoots, then we can start watering. So maybe about 4 weeks, 5 weeks that will take. But yeah, if you've got potatoes on the go, you still have time. You can chit them. I've stopped buying seed potatoes now, because every year I save some behind, about 6 or 12 little seed potatoes, and they end up doing us every year a nice 4 to 5 kilogram harvest. I'll put you a link to my last harvest so you can see what kind of potatoes you can expect from these containers.